Everyone is talking about Oliver Tree. But did you know that he is a IMDb actor? Oh yeah, it's right there. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. If they're listed on IMDb, then they're actors for IMDb. It says actor and director. Yeah, there you go. Maintained an IMDb profile NM10708902. I don't know how many of y'all may be able to relate to what I'm about to tell you, but Charlie Kirk didn't pop up into my feed until about 2 or 3 weeks before his production assassination. Same thing for Oliver Tree. He didn't pop up into my feed until maybe 2 weeks before his production death. And I got to thinking to myself, how weird is that 2 people in a row? I wonder if there's been more that I just hadn't been paying attention to that just pop up into my algorithm, and then 2 weeks later they're dead. So I asked Google, I said, can algorithms predict deaths? And it says yes, algorithms can predict deaths. I asked that question because the algorithm keeps on sending me these people that are about to die. Now, I got a couple questions about this. You know me, I'm the question man, right? So I got a couple questions. The first question is, after these people die, and they're 3 times more viral than all the time in their life on the media, who gets the profits of all that virality? Who gets the profits of that? Is it just the social media places that have been holding them back for so long that now have just sporadically opened all the algorithm gates so that he can be famous now after he's dead or she's dead? It seems so jacked up to me and so rigged, y'all, and so morally and ethically wrong to prop people up after their death but not during their life, so that they can enjoy their life and be the best them that they could possibly be. This brings me to the next question. These algorithms are predicting these deaths because of probabilistic risk assessments from noise owners, from copyright owners, and it's highly accurate. In my experience, I've seen it in person work. So I had to ask my next question. How does the algorithm help people who just died become viral? Statistically, it has been shown that people go 3 times more viral during their death than they ever did in their life, making 3 times the profits that they did in their entire lifetime. This is very beneficial for the music and entertainment group that off them, because as soon as they off them, they get an ass ton of money because these people are now dead and their stuff is going viral and no one else is getting the proceeds of it, as far as I know. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there that, heaven forbid, has experienced anything like this close to them with somebody who's in the media and is a creator. So, let's ask, how does that happen? How does the algorithm help people who just died become viral? Social media algorithms do not explicitly target or boost the content of people who recently died to make them viral. Instead, algorithms amplify this content organically by capitalizing on sudden spikes in public interest, intense emotional engagement, and morbid curiosity. The mechanics of how these platforms process and spread content about the deceased include spikes in engagement metrics. Good gracious. Viral triggers from tragedy. The grief bait industry. Algorithmic reminders. Public mourning rituals. Wow. What are you trying to do right here, bro? It says death bots, but it won't let me. Okay. Why won't you let me scroll? Why are you freaking out? Where was I even? Here it is. While major platforms like Meta, Facebook, and Instagram do not currently allow death bots or algorithms to post or speak on behalf of deceased users, the automated curation of public grief continues to heavily shape how stories of the deceased are distributed and consumed. My computer is freaking out, y'all. Okay, so Oliver Tree. American singer, songwriter. Yep, Charlie Kirk, IMDb also. Yeah, so here's where the meat of the story gets to. Is that a Oliver Tree in the 1614 version of the Bible showing genealogy? Is that an Oliver Tree in the 1614 version of the Bible showing genealogy? Yes, you are likely thinking of the olive tree, not an Oliver Tree. The olive tree is one of the most prominent symbolic and visual elements used to depict biblical genealogies and lineage in early English Bibles. The famous 1611 King James Bible, as well as several early 17th century editions like those from 1613, 1614, include a 34-page supplement created by the famous English cartographer John Speed. The supplement, titled "The Genealogies Recorded in the Sacred Scriptures," features extensive, stylized visual family trees tracking the lineage from Adam and Eve all the way to Christ. In the biblical scholarship, the olive tree is incredibly significant. The root and the branches. In the New Testament, Romans 11:17-24, the Apostle Paul uses a metaphor of an olive tree to explain biblical genealogy and salvation. The deep root represents the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, while the branches represent God's people. Noah's olive leaf. The olive tree is first mentioned in Genesis 8:11, the first book of the Bible, when the dove brings an olive leaf back to Noah's ark, symbolizing that life was beginning again on earth. Here we have that exact olive tree. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit better here and allow all the cords to stretch. Thank you very much. Since all the things want to drain the batteries. Yeah, here we go. There's the olive tree. Let's try to get in on this. Get it out of the case. All right. Sorry, this is zoomed in a lot, so it's real hard to focus in on it. I'm trying my best here to... It's a real bad graphic, I mean, to deal with, to begin with. It's like they did the worst they could do to photocopy this so that you can't read it all. You know what I mean? So we're going to try our best, because TikTok, you can zoom in on this stuff. Hopefully we can make sense of a lot of this stuff. Okay. You can see, I guess that's Noah's Ark. Armenia. I mean, that is a big tree. It is a big, big tree. Which brings me back to this one that I've showed you a few times, that proves that Christ's name has been blasphemed and changed, and that J was added into the alphabet and was on the cover of the Bible there, you can see, as Benjamin, but was not actually invented yet. Now, is that a J or an I? That looks like an I, actually. That's an I. My bad. That is not a J at all. So there is not a J on this book that I've found yet. So I misspoke about that. Ames at the top of the Bible is Ames, not James. And the other thing I misspoke about was Freemasons. The Freemasons and the Masonic Temple wasn't invented till 1700s. So either this was redone and modified by the Freemasons, or I was completely wrong. I said Freemasons because the big G on the front page, on the first page, and I thought all of these might have been Freemasons, but it turns out, if that's correct, right, 16th and 17th centuries. And then we get a breakdown of all the people supposedly on the different versions of this Bible. We got 4 evangelists, the 12 apostles, flanking figures, central seated figures, basically biblical figures, you know, and then some dukes and stuff like that. So, you know, just a clarification, you know, we get things wrong, and when we realize, or when I realize that I get things wrong, I come forward and let you know, hey, you know what, I realized I probably got this wrong. So just letting you know, hey, I realized I probably got that wrong. They're not Masonic and not Freemasons on the cover, potentially. However, this does not change the fact that it could have been all manipulated by Freemasons at a later date. Now, to conclude this information, we have discovered that olive tree is very spiritual, very, very significant symbolism for spirituality overall. And then we find out that he's an actor, he's playing a character, so was Charlie Kirk, and these characters can absolutely have a production of being murdered or ended in public, and that's part of the production. It's not illegal. I don't know where we're going to end up being able to draw the line legally as far as justice is concerned and morality and ethics is concerned on where we can say this is a production and where they kind of walk the line and act like it's real. I don't know where that line is drawn at legality wise, you know, where you can report somebody, a character of somebody dead, but not an actual name of somebody dead. I don't know where that legality lies, but I think we need to draw the line. I think the line needs to be drawn in the sand of what's legal as far as showing on TV about people dying and what's defaming and blasphemous about people dying. Because as I can see and discover, as far back as 1613 and 1614, we have people renamed, characters renamed, new people invented, old people that have died renamed, just absolute blasphemies of disrespect in regard to past people, individuals, and all kinds of sorts of things dealing with religion. And it troubles me. It disturbs me greatly, because no one is really pointing to these symbolic things that represent these things and how they're relating to our specific life right now. Of course, that dude's name was not Oliver Tree. I don't think his parents named him that, but I could be wrong. Again, do your own research. This is my research. And my research shows that a lot of these characters use character names, not their real names. So, let's ask what his real name is. Dude, what? The actor and singer known as Oliver Tree is Oliver Tree Nickel. Are you kidding me? For real? That's all you got on that? Wow. He had a character named Turbo before transitioning into music? What? Are you kidding me right now? Are you trolling me? I think my computer's trolling me, y'all. Bro, I'm Turbo. What the fuck? How can there be so many Turbos in this world, bro? Are we all one tribe? I think we're all one Turbo tribe. I think that's what it is. That's got to be what it is. We can't use truth tellers. We can't use fact tellers. We can't use shadow band. We can't use any of that in our posts. So I think people are just using turbo now. I've been using it for 14 years though, bro. They've just banned my 14. Well, they didn't ban it yet. It still says it's on an appeal. That's a whole nother video right there we got to talk about today. What we've gone through on my YouTube channel the last week and a half trying to get it back. Oh my gosh, what a drama session that has been. I'm really surprised that that's his real name. Wow. Rest in peace, brother. Really ironic, he was fighting the music company and talking about Antarctica. And then started his career with a character named Turbo. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me, dude. It never ceases to amaze me. I can't make the stories up in my life that have really happened. But when I tell them, they don't get shared. Anyway, listen. We got this channel ready. And we saved some stuff. I saved this video about him on the Nick Jones channel. Before he died, Oliver Tree revealed what he trusted most. Well, I had these playlists that were working, but one thing consistently on YouTube all the time, every time, is that nothing works for me as it does for everyone else. As you can see, my computer is still glitching out and fucking off. These are videos I like, and apparently I can only save up to 200 videos I like in each playlist before they cap them off. I had that video saved that I liked, but it's not there. Anyway, my channel, OG Turbo World. OG Turbo World. It really irritates me that, you know, you spend so much time doing this stuff and watching this stuff to share with others, and then at the end of the day, they make sure to screw it all up anyway. So